There is a voice inside you that has been waiting to be heard. Maybe it's been quiet for years, buried under fear, doubt, and the belief that you are not ready. But the truth is, you've always been ready. You've always had something to say. Today is the day you stop whispering and begin speaking. Not in perfect English, not with flawless grammar, but with courage. Because when you rise up and speak, even imperfectly, you take control of your life. Confidence doesn't appear like magic. It is not something you wake up with one day and suddenly feel. It is something you build, word by word, moment by moment, mistake by mistake. You grow it by showing up, even when you feel unsure. You grow it by choosing to speak, even when you're afraid of being wrong. Confidence is not the reward for speaking well. It is the result of speaking often. Think about how children learn to talk. They don't wait until their grammar is perfect. They speak, they get corrected, and they keep going. That is how you learned your first language. That is how you will learn English too. But unlike a child, you have something more powerful: intention. You are choosing this journey, and that gives you strength. You are not just learning English. You are learning how to stand tall, how to be heard, and how to believe in your voice again. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Kien who moved to Australia. He knew a few basic words, enough to get by, but every time he opened his mouth, he felt like people were judging him. So he stayed quiet. For months, he only nodded, smiled, and avoided conversations. But inside, he wanted so much more. He wanted to make friends. He wanted to feel like he belonged. One day, after another awkward moment of silence, he looked in the mirror and said to himself, "You came all this way. Why are you still hiding?" That moment changed everything. Not because his English improved overnight, but because his mindset shifted. He decided to speak at least once every day, no matter how small. One day it was a simple thank you at the coffee shop. Another day, it was asking for help in the supermarket. The conversations were short, but the impact was huge. He was no longer a silent observer in his own life. He was participating. He was connecting. And slowly, he started to feel like he was part of the world around him. You don't need a big vocabulary to speak confidently. You don't need to sound like a native speaker to be respected. You need clarity of purpose and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Speaking a new language is hard. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. But that doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are learning. You are stretching your brain, expanding your world, and doing something millions of people are too afraid to even try. Let go of the fear of being judged. Most people aren't focused on your mistakes. They're focused on your effort. When someone sees you trying, they admire you more than you know. You are doing something brave. You are building something real. And the more you speak, the easier it becomes. Every conversation is like a gym session for your confidence. Every word you say is a step closer to fluency, to freedom, to power. Stop comparing yourself to others. Some people speak faster. Some know more words. That doesn't make them better than you. Your journey is your own. Speak at your pace. Grow in your own time. Progress is not measured in speed. It's measured in consistency. If you speak a little every day, you are already winning. If you try, fail, and try again, you are already succeeding. You may not notice your progress at first, but it's there. One day, you'll understand a full sentence in a movie. One day, you'll say something in English and not even think about it. One day, you'll help someone else who's afraid to speak, and you'll realize just how far you've come. These moments are waiting for you. but you have to keep going to reach them. There will be hard days, days when you feel stuck, days when your tongue won't cooperate, days when you want to give up. On those days, remember this: confidence is not the absence of fear, it is action in the face of fear. You can feel afraid and still speak. You can feel lost and still move forward. Those who become great at anything are not the ones who never struggle, they are the ones who refuse to stop. Speak to yourself kindly. Encourage yourself the way you would encourage a child learning to walk. You would never tell that child to stop after falling a few times. You would say, "It's okay. Try again." So say the same to yourself. It's okay. Try again. Your brain listens to your voice. Train it to hear love, not shame. Growth, not guilt. Your goal is not just to speak English. It is to speak it as you. With your energy. With your accent. With your story. You don't need to hide your identity to speak well. In fact, the most powerful speakers are those who bring their true selves into every word. People don't connect to perfect, they connect to real. So today, speak. Speak to your mirror. Speak to your pet. Speak to the cashier, to a classmate, to a stranger online. Don't wait until you feel ready. Speak until you become ready. Speak until the fear is replaced by flow. Speak until your voice feels natural in this new language. Speak even when it feels strange. Especially then. You are not behind. You are not slow. You are not broken. You are a learner, a builder, a fighter. You are someone with dreams big enough to cross languages, cultures, and countries. That dream deserves a voice. And you are the only one who can give it that voice. The world is full of noise, but your voice is unique. Don't keep it hidden. Don't silence yourself. When you rise up and speak, you give others permission to do the same. You become the example, the leader, the inspiration. And someday someone will say, "Because you spoke, I found the courage to speak too." You might not realize it, but you've already done the hardest part. You started. That first word, that first sentence, that first video you watched in English, those are the moments most people never reach. They stay stuck in fear, but not you. You took action. And action is what separates dreamers from doers and learners from speakers. Your journey isn't defined by speed or mistakes. It's defined by movement. And you, right now, are moving forward. Some people will tell you that you need to speak like a native to be taken seriously. That's a lie. People respect clear communication, not fake perfection. You can have an accent. You can pause to think. You can say things simply. What matters is, are you expressing your ideas? Are you communicating with confidence? Because in the end, connection beats complexity. Think of all the doors that open when you speak with courage. You can meet people from every continent. You can watch movies and understand the jokes. You can write emails, join meetings, and talk about your passions. English becomes not just a subject, but a tool, a key to a life with more freedom, more opportunities, and more confidence in every room you enter. Every time you choose to speak, even if it's just a short answer in class or a comment online, you're training your brain to be braver. You're telling yourself, "I have the right to speak." Because you do. You have a right to take space. You have the right to be heard. No one can take that from you unless you give it away. And you're not going to do that. Not anymore. You may be afraid of being laughed at. But here's the truth. The people who laugh at others are never the ones doing the hard work. Real learners, real achievers, real champions, they support each other. They know the courage it takes to learn out loud. They clap for your effort, not your grammar. So surround yourself with people who want to see you rise, and walk away from those who don't. There will be times you speak and forget a word, times you say the wrong thing, times you freeze. That's part of the process. Everyone who has ever become great at anything has gone through the same thing. They failed. They looked silly. They felt frustrated. But they kept going. And that's why they succeeded. Success is not a straight line. It's a road full of learning moments. You're walking that road now. Remember this. The most confident speakers are not the ones who know every word. They're the ones who speak even when they don't. They trust themselves to figure it out. They know that communication is more than vocabulary. It's eye contact. It's energy. It's heart. And if you bring your heart every time you speak, people will understand you more than you think. You don't need to wait for a test score to prove your progress. You don't need someone else to validate your growth. Look at where you were 6 months ago. Could you understand this message? Could you express your thoughts this clearly? Your improvement is real. It's in every conversation, every message, every time you didn't give up when it got hard. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to change your life. It just has to be used. Speak English in the supermarket, on the bus, with your kids, at work, on YouTube, in comments, in journals. Let the language become part of your life, not just part of your study routine. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes, like a muscle you train every day. Visualize the future again. You're speaking fluently with someone you once admired. You're giving advice. You're making videos. You're sharing your ideas on a big stage. That version of you is real. That version of you is waiting. All it asks is that you keep showing up, one word at a time. And when you feel discouraged, remember this: you're not alone. Every learner in the world has struggled. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every strong voice started out as a whisper. So whisper if you must, but don't stay silent. Speak. Speak softly. Speak bravely. Speak again and again until your voice becomes undeniable. Because one day, someone will hear your story. Someone will hear your accent and feel less alone. Someone will hear your effort and feel inspired. Your courage will become their light. And that's why you must keep going. Not just for you, but for everyone who will rise because you did.